Go for it. This is Frank Brown from Littau and Don Carter from Oxbow.
Morning, everybody. So, obviously, Littau Harvester. Those of you who aren't familiar with us, we've been around here since 1962, building berry harvesters. So, the number one thing that has been driving our company for the last probably 10 years is obviously the blueberry market. We've seen an increase in plantings that's just extraordinary compared to anything we've seen in the past. Most of the customers are trying to keep all the planting secret because it's going to scare the price down. But they've published a thing there in the New York Times. It's kind of funny. Gene Littau brought by the shop here last week, and it was showing all the repercussions of blueberries. And the one that stuck in my mind was blender sales are up by $1.6 billion because we're making healthier fruits and vegetables for ourselves. And but it was kind of funny because in the article there was a little border and it was just all berries and cherries and different things. And he's like, you guys have done pretty good with it. So that was always kind of nice to. Let's say get some praise from the creator of our company. So in our field here, the ORXL has been the number one machine for the blueberries, just because of the sheer capacity. It's a direct drop onto the inspection belt. The cups have one drop onto the belt and the next drops into the crate. In the back here has I figured out it's got a pointer on it too. There we go. And so right in the back corners of the machine on either side, there's a fan there that has been drafts out all the leaves and debris, and has really helped clear up the cleaners. And then of course the cleaners are up on top on both sides. And so the right-hand fruit's pre-cleaned down here. It's cleaned up here on the main fan. It gives you about a 60-inch zone to sort that fruit. And then the left side fruit's delivered onto it, and it's cleaned again. And basically what's happening different than our over-the-row models was the fruit in the carousel cups on the over-the-row model was bunched up, and so it barely had time to clear before the come out of the cleaning chamber. And so with this one, the fruit's laid out better. It's more even, more uniform across the belt, makes sorting a lot easier. The final grades have been a lot better. We can, with these short turns on the hoods right here, it's not a very good view, but it's very short turnover. We can even blow out berries that are overripe or underripe because they're underweight. And so you can actually sort. So we've been able to hold some fresh grades for fresh sale prices, even better than anything we've ever done before. Then our side row is basically the same concept, single drop onto the belt. Obviously with the platform down between the rows, there is very little space for stored fruit, but in the raspberry market where you're doing multiple picks, you don't have a high volume of fruit, so it works quite well. The next line is mulch spreaders, and so these will discharge on left or right side with selector knobs right up here. And we can put mulch out or sawdust, whichever is preferred, and just top dressing. And it'll dress the entire mound on the plant because it just rolls right through the plant. So, also you may have at the Ag Show this year saw that we had the Oregon State colors on there. Some of the Kubota guys, they asked us if we could do something other than green, so we did some orange. And then Brian Thompson, of course, is a pretty avid Oregon State fan, so he put some a little beaver sticker right up here and on the back of it. So that was kind of cool. So no charge for the beaver sticker. If you're a fan, it's all good. So I had a guy picking one up today, and yesterday I was asking him, I said, well, I gotta ask you, I've only got one of this new batch put together right now. Are you a Ducks fan or a Beavers fan? He laughed, he goes, well, I'm a Beavers fan. I go, well, you're elected. Otherwise, you're not gonna be very happy tomorrow. So, and then orchard processor, this is basically a sorting device and bin filler system that when you're out in the trellised apples, you have people that are standing out in front, they place their apples right here. The people's on the lower decks here, they can put their fruit on right here, and this upper deck can put their fruit there. And so you're actually still hand picking into a bag around your neck and then putting the fruit on. And then it's got a roll grade sorter system right through here, and then it goes into a bin filler, and there'll be a little bit more on that later. So that's an overview of our main stuff. And of course then we have the open row model that's kind of a scaled down version of this that's easier to truck transport, because these big machines are hauled on a lowboy because of their overall height and width. So the little bit of information about the orchard processor. Van Dorn sales and olive fruit were kind of the mothership of invention on this. And Walt up there, you know, he kind of come up with all this stuff, and they were going through Van Dorn for all of their processing. And so Van Dorn built 6 units similar to this, but they were an industrial type implant guys, and so we kind of cleaned it up and took it to the next level for them. Here's some views of the apples. All these are sponge rolled, padded. This is kind of like a directional carpet. It's a very light vibrator. You barely feel it vibrate, but it moves the apples forward. And then put them into the bins. And as you can see, the apple trees aren't your traditional trees. In fact, all the apples are kind of put into grids on there. They use pheromones and stuff to put the limbs all in rows where they want them. When we were picking apples, it was about every 26 feet we were getting a box of apples. And in another field, it was like 24 feet, but it was funny because those fields were so flawless that every box of apples was almost perfect. But 6 guys on this thing can outperform about 12 to 14 guys on ladders. So it's got a really good efficiency. And then also, you're seeing right here, apples on the ground. These are the sort outs. So these people here are sorting those apples. They go through a drop chute and they just drop them on the ground. And it's kind of sad because they're beautiful apples. A lot of them just have a mark where a limb was, but they're doing an export market and after only perfect apples. Again, up on top. Basically, Apple says that they can save $150 a box by avoiding the need for expensive sorting plant. So lately, it seems like the big thing on all infield processes is by the time you take it to the plant, sort it, handle it, you damage it more, and so it's like the last profit margin there is getting lost in transportation, and then you have to haul away the byproducts, and so it's been pretty good for that. So trying to save whatever margins are left. The 3.5-inch catcher design is kind of catchers. I think they're the most elaborate part of the whole machine, and at the same time, it's what everybody loves to complain about the most. So right now, we did some experiments last year, kind of back it up a little bit. Everybody's got something to compare to, so we're backing back up to a 5-inch space catcher. And the fruit the last couple of years has been coming off, especially like the Duke crop. 90% of the berries are in one pick. And we've seen where the plastics have actually loaded up and started to bend down because so much fruit's landing on them. So we bumped it back up to 3/8 plate thickness on the catchers and put our little bend up on the outside where when the catcher opens, it swats the berry towards the cups instead of pulling out from underneath of it. So there was some improvements that are being made on that, and the production this year is back to a 5-inch catcher, unless of course you want the 3.5s. So, where did I go? 2 of them. The berries on here is pretty average what you're seeing. You know, you got some green berries in there, but virtually no debris whatsoever. So they've been cleaning very well on these. This was out at Bremen Farms. You know, we did either the customers will buy them or we'll buy them. We'll go through and we'll fit the moffets with a squeeze clamp and stuff for the crates. He was probably the first one that said, hey, I want that painted orange and want a beaver sticker on it. So we brought it in when we refurbished it. We painted it orange for him, and he put the stickers on that one. And that day, everything that they were picking off that machine was going to fresh. So that was a pretty good day for him. Actually, a pretty good season for him. And then side row, 2014, we made a few adjustments with that. We have a new head in this this last year. We had 6 sets out. It's still kind of experimental, but they're again an orbit type head. And so it's working out quite well. So it's been real popular on the side rows. And then of course our mulch spreaders, we have 3 models. The SS8 has been the most popular. There's a 15 there and the 20-yard one there. 20 yards pretty much for new plantings, but it'll outperform this thing about 4 to 1.
What's the outside dimensions on that width?
This one on the SS8 is 58 inches, and on these we have tire options here, but these here are about 72 inches wide, or 78 inches wide, right there. We also offer, usually it's on this one, we offer like an 8-tire truck, so it looks like airplane landing gear. So it's got a lot of tires if you've got soft soils, like back east and such. And then we do a little bit of in-plant processing stuff. These have been real popular, and they got NEMA 4X, or excuse me, NEMA. I'm drawing a blank on it now, but they're all wash down grade controls, so you can literally hit them with a pressure washer and not hurt anything. And all stainless painted gearboxes, stainless motors, putting food grade oil even in the boxes on those. It's running an interlocks 1/4-inch flatted belt. And right here is a dump station. It's hard to see in the angle, but there's a couple bars right there that hold the clams down, or the crates, so that you can pour them out. And these feed the lines, and if you're over the Willamette Fruit, just down the road here, they've got several of them all lined up. And then we have our little front-mounted sprayers, been pretty popular on the tractors, and they got little spray shields around them right here, so that they're really good for spot spraying right underneath the plants. And of course, we're out in Staten. Got a few facilities there, kind of keep growing around the block. We're working on a new facility right now, which used to be Karsten Homes. So hopefully we have a little more production area and more storage, and try to streamline our production assembly process with that space. Thank you.